Hi everybody, welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. So here was the plan. Matt was going to record with his little buddy attached while he was sleeping, and I just woke him up by doing the intro. So we'll see how long we can go. Yeah, isn't that fun? All right, so today we're going to talk about a couple of crappy, no good, poo-poo losses. Mike, what are you still shocked about, Teddy Boy?
Yeah. Do we have to whisper the show for the whole show?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm trying to not.
Are you speaking softly right now?
I'm trying to, but I don't have the voice to lend to trying to speak softly. But yeah, okay. So let's talk about those two losses. Let's talk about Dylan Larkin, and after doing a modicum of research,
almost like a modicum. Yeah.
What?
You did some.
No.
How did you pronounce it?
Modicum.
Modicum. Wow. I don't think I've. No, it sounded weird when you said it because modicum sounds a little bit better.
Yeah, modicum's right. I don't think it's I don't know.
Anyway, it just sounded weird. Anyway.
Yeah, we have a chart that the NHL provided for when players like Dylan Larkin are forced to go through COVID protocol to see. I guess we'll take a look and see if it actually is possible he's going to play tomorrow. Because I'm going to tell you, Mike, I don't think it is, because you need we'll go through it. Then we'll talk about Mo. We'll talk about Bertuzzi. We'll talk about Lucas Raymond. Everybody doing good as usual. Joe Vallejo showing off a little bit, and then Ned's still showing off. So all that fun stuff, Matt. And the whole time, Matt's gonna try and keep his sweet baby boy asleep, because I think he's back asleep. Mike, how are you doing today? Clearly, my hands are full today.
Today was a big day for me. I at the encouraging words of my significant other, I said, "Boy, look at those loud pants. Don't those look fun?" And she said, "You should get them. They look great." And so this weekend I bought purple jeans. Purple. And I wore purple jeans to work today. And it
on purpose.
On purpose. I didn't lose a bet. I bought them by design. And
well, I know, because the two of us were both colorblind. So I can imagine
I
being
wasn't
in a
aiming for
situation
blue,
where
it was purple.
I accidentally bought purple jeans. Yeah, okay.
No, this was actually by design.
Right.
Yeah, these boys are loud and they're proud. And I got referenced as the Joker,
Nice.
Grimace, and Barney. But then 3 ladies said they look good, so I feel better.
That's good. All right, a couple of quick shout outs. Fethdar, good evening. How you doing? Shayne Barry wants to know what we think about Vallejo centering Bert and Lucas Raymond. Shayne, good to have you on the show. Good to see you in the comments here.
Shayne? Yeah.
I think
Shayne, off the bat, I think can I use the word inevitable?
Can I use the word or actually I think Blashill's going to stick with Seider. So as much as I want to see this happen just for the sake of trying something new, I don't think it will. And I would not scoff at having Puce in there, because go back to the first game with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, we did play without Dylan Larkin late in that game.
Right.
Unless I'm mistaken, it was Puce that took over on the first line, and Bert still went off. And Lucas seems to be able to. I mean, even in games without Bert and Dylan, he still looks really good. I think he's past, he's beyond. I saw it written today, and I forgot whose article it was, but it was he's beyond the conversation of small sample size. So we can just start saying Lucas can hold himself down on a line. So here's my argument about all that, is that what I'd rather do is if the first line has to get jumbled up a little bit, why don't we jumble it all up, because nothing else is really working but the first line. So I just don't want to see anything forced in that bottom 9 to say that, well, we got to keep the second line together, or, we got to keep the ball rolling for Nemestikov. We can't break up his line because he had a pretty good, goals for percentage going.
Let's say this, like with Veleno, that would be nice, but I think you start with Puce, right? And my God, wouldn't it be nice if somehow, some way, that line could, if we have to miss Larkin for a couple games, let's say that, and Puce can, hold his own and the line is still productive, my God, we could have almost a Tampa Bay Lightning situation where they have Stamkos on the second line. We could have Larkin on the second line, which, he's first line talent, of course, but it'd be nice to kind of be able to feel like we could spread the wealth a little bit without feeling like the success of the whole team just completely craters if we don't have Larkin playing with, Raymond and Bertuzzi. So it'd be nice. I think this would be a high reward experiment here as we are forced to be without Larkin for the short term. See if Puce can kind of light it up a little bit. And I'm not going to put that expectation on Veleno. But Puce, we saw him have success in Chicago. We see him starting to cook up a little bit here on the recent stat sheet. So, maybe this is a good time for him to trial by fire. Get him in there with twos and the boy.
Well, Mike, just got to throw out there that Matthew Nichols also has purple baseball pants from a Hulk costume a few years ago. And the Fowlerville High School colors are purple and gold. Mike, we also grew up at a school. Woodworth was elementary and then was Woodworth Middle School. It was also purple and gold.
Yeah.
We're both carrying around those.
Here's
colors.
to our colors, purple and gold. Woodworth, march onward as the nights and days of old.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember part of that song.
Holy mackerel.
Fight to the finish, work for that goal, till you hear the name of Woodworth flash from pole to pole.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
It does look like you're reading something, though.
No, I promise. I'm not reading a single thing.
1,000% look like you have had your middle school fight song taped to your laptop all these years.
You never knew it was going to be handy.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Now he's really awake. Hey, buddy. What's going on?
So
this episode, let me just tell everybody, this is going to have to be a quick one because there's no way he's making it like an hour and a half like we have been doing. Here, buddy, you want to look around? So for anybody listening to the podcast, what's going on is I have this sweet baby boy attached. Or you know what? I already said it. It's not like nobody's listening to this.
Man, take
live.
A step back. We can't see his face.
Oh.
There you go. Hey, teddy boy.
What? I don't like putting his face on YouTube. I think we have to mark our YouTube channel now as having kids on it.
I think it's kid-friendly now. It'll increase our reach.
No, I mean that 1,000%. Like, we have to, we'll break YouTube. Like, it'll be a YouTube violation if I don't say there was a child on our video.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's just teddy boy. I mean...
I'd love to tell YouTube. It's just my son. Oh, okay. That's never happened. All right, we got a few more of our best buddies checking in. Performance Arts here. He got all caught up in Jeopardy. Performance Art just aged himself. Brennis, what's up? What's going on?
He knows Brennis.
Jared, he's got a good suggestion. I just I don't know.
Like
none of these toys are friendly for the little guy.
What about a Funko Pop? He can have a Funko.
All right, and Schlarchy, I think Schlarchy. This is the first time I'm throwing a shout out to you. What's going on, man? I hope I got that right. But that is, I actually really
throw that pronunciation down there if we butchered it. Yeah.
All right, so I got to turn up the energy here because I know I've been trying to be quiet, but now that he's awake, I can kind of scream again. Mike, here's what I pulled up for everybody. It was this little chart from the NHL. So let's go over COVID protocol real quick. So we all know what happened to Dylan Larkin. He got pulled out of the game in Dallas in the third period. Of course, we were coming in hot too. It really looked like we could have pulled off the comeback. But let's see. At the top of this chart, you've got the initial positive. And again, this comes straight from the NHL. You've got the initial positive. You isolate the player, begin contact tracing. You saw Danny DeKeyser last night at his press conference, had his mask on. So they go through the entire team Anybody that would have contact with Dylan now has a mask until they can start testing everybody. Then they do a confirmatory test. If that comes back positive, you could see he goes right into isolate player and contact trace. Then he's got a second test 24 hours later and a third test 24 hours after that. Mike, I bring that up because I don't think we're getting Dylan. I'm pretty sure we're not getting Dylan against Vegas in any way, shape, or form. Right? That looks like he is not playing. Because if I look at OddsShark right now, it says that he's still questionable. But I'm pretty sure even if he gets a positive test, it doesn't matter.
This is a good time if you've lost a few on DraftKings. Put a few dollars on the Vegas Golden Knights because I feel pretty good.
Those odds are probably going to be you won't make much money, but it's a good idea if you want a couple pennies. All right, so if he gets 3 confirmed negatives, then he can exit isolation, as you can see on the bottom of this chart. Now, if Larkin gets a positive test in these confirmatory tests, it does say he's out for 10 days. And even at the end of those 10 days, he has to show no symptoms, and he needs to get a thumbs up from team physicians and the NHL doctors for them to, I mean, for all I know, that just means they call in, team physicians are like, all right, Dylan's fine. And they go, all right, cool. And then they all sign a document and have a quick Zoom call, and then they're done. But anywho, that is the long and short of it. So I did not think I'd need to look at this, but here we are.
Yeah, this is crushing news. It could not have come at a worse time, especially with that comeback on the way and then quickly snuffed out as Larkin was removed from the lineup. And some, more road games in our immediate future here, which almost assuredly, I feel like for a 500 team that's still kind of figuring out, we're not babies, but we're definitely kind of in that puberty stage, kind of figuring out what comes next, how to win. Matt, you could easily see a 4-game losing streak here with this road trip.
Hopefully still we could beat Arizona.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like the worst collection of players. Like, it's looking to be the worst collection of players of all time. They purposefully have, they slotted in one of the worst goaltenders. So we can still get 1 win here. I think that's still salvageable.
Maybe a point.
But yeah, if it's those 10 days, and I do want to go through the comments real quick here, Mike. I do have to point out, Michael Scripp does want to remind us those are collectibles, not toys. But yeah, there's been the question here, performance art. He's positive. Yes, it was Frank Seravalli this morning said he did get a positive test, and Jared rightly points out it could be a false positive, which is where all those confirmatory tests come into play. So basically what you tell yourself is there was a positive test, you do all the precautions necessary, and then we're going to go through this rigmarole. And Brad throws in there 10 days from initial isolation or from once he gets the confirmed test. Now, if that depends on when he gets the first confirmed test. So he's got the confirmatory test happens 24 hours after the first initial test, and then he's got a couple more 24 hours after that. So if he gets the confirmatory test, that is basically saying when you first tested for COVID and you tested positive, it was positive. So they go back. Actually, what I should have been saying this whole time is it doesn't matter when those other tests happen, because what they're trying to figure out is if that first test was a positive. That's why they call it the confirmatory test and not the initial test. So sorry, this has been so jumbled, but regardless, it's going to go back to that initial day, and it won't matter what confirmatory test it actually does test positive for. Because he's still got to test negative when he comes back, right? Like, he's still getting tested. What I found out today was every 72 hours. So if he comes back and is positive, then we go through all of this again.
I know you got a good one, Teddy. Man, he headbutted the old microphone. I know you're trying to keep him at ease, so you're kind of swaying because he's a baby. But also it almost looks like you're kind of excited to be sharing this COVID news.
Man.
Yeah, Larkin, so he's going to be out 10 days, and he's got all these confirmatory tests coming, and man, it's going to be great for your Detroit Red Wings.
Well, can we point out? I like what Fethstar is saying here because I thought this was really weird that he does get pulled out mid-game. Mike, how many millions of dollars
Can we
does the
just say
NHL have?
Can we see how hypocritical it is that they're trying to be like proactive and aware? Hey, let's pull Larkin out. We got this result. We got to take him out of the game. Like, if you're gonna do contact tracing, he scored a goal. So all of the 4 guys on the line like went up to him and said, "Yay, good job, Larkin! Yay!" Like, they touch mouths after every goal. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Ottinger was so angry, he picked up the puck and threw it into the stands, and everybody was throwing the puck to each other.
You could just see the plumes of infection just going through the stadium when that happened. So
I brought this up because I asked this question on Twitter earlier today, and I was like, "What are we doing? How do we not have an efficient way of doing this?" Like, and that's where I learned that they do test the vaccinated players every 72 hours, and they said it probably just didn't work out with the 72 hours, and then having played Columbus and Dallas back to back, it was tough to get the results on a timely basis, and I was just like, well, isn't there one person that can look at the schedules of these only 32 teams? And that's this person's job is to figure out when to test these guys so that, if a positive came back, then we weren't putting him on the ice. It's silly to me that was something where he gets pulled out in the third period. And I don't know. It's odd to me. It's another thumbs down, I think, for the NHL where it's just like, just get it right. That's the only... Did we get it right by having a guy on the ice, and all we had to do was figure out a way to make sure that we could get results in time? No.
Well, it's like they had to make sure that we still kind of keep a shred of normalcy, right? So we still had all the games jumbled together, back-to-backs, 5 games in 7 days kind of thing. And, yeah, I mean, somebody might catch COVID, but we got to keep those schedules regular.
Yep. Brad, there's out there that puck is definitely COVID positive. Soap Dish, how you doing? And Brennis, coming out with the hot take.
Woo! Hot take right there.
Vegas.
Brennan, I have a challenge for you, sir. I want to see that screenshot of your DraftKings app because I want to see that money.
Brennis, does Mark Stone being back in the lineup change your mind for Vegas? Because
he's immediately redacted.
I think I'm pretty sure Pacioretty is still out. Obviously Eichel, but I think they got Mark Stone back a couple of games ago, so that might.
I know you're being tongue in cheek. I know you're being tongue in cheek about Eichel, like not being back because he had a neck injury. But didn't you kind of expect him to like immediately get better and start playing? Just a little bit.
Like he gets traded and.
Oh man, my neck's feeling
like,
great. Yeah, right. Get me out there.
I'm like, a Buffalo, thank God.
That was the real pain in the neck, like you joked about, was Buffalo. But
I was pretty proud of that joke. I wished I had put a hashtag on it because that was one of the few tweets I actually put out there and did not hashtag, and it did really well. And I was like, damn it, should have hashtagged it. People would have loved this.
Hey, let's do this because I know we don't want to keep this too long. I know we want to talk about a few positives from these 2 losses, and one of them was Mo Seider laying the smackdown. Oh my God, with those open ice hits. Woo-hoo-hoo! Who was the victim of the big one? Who had his head down? Do you happen to know?
Yeah, was that Raffle?
Yeah.
Let me pull them up here. This was beautiful. I'm just gonna do the replay. I was thinking about pulling up the live look, but it's too far away. Let's pull this sucker up. I labeled it as absolute perfection. There's absolutely nothing dirty about this. It is,
it's a clean hockey play, no penalty, no interference. Bam! Oh, beautiful. What was that pathetic fly that bounced off of him?
That was Mr. Luke Glendening.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, wow, this is great. Where he's like, no. No, that was Glendening. I think realizing that he had no chance of affecting the aftermath, and then Seider going like, "Hey, I know that guy," so he didn't lay into him too hard. But yeah, that's
on that hit. Like that guy's feet went airborne. That was amazing.
Yeah,
his feet went airborne and he sat down like Winnie the Pooh.
Can we talk? I want to play this one more time, but just like this wasn't about like he should have been paying attention. Seider's laying into the hit, and sure, there's like a little bit here of like he's got blood in the water, and he knows he's going to be able to lay in a good hit.
He sized it up. Look how cleanly he sized it up too to not get a penalty or anything dumb.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I went past. Oh, wait, this is the one I wanted. It's just like it's fine. Like this is a good hockey hit. Oh, except for right there, right on his chin. Just you can see his tongue is starting to come out of his mouth right there. That's ugly. You like to see it when you're wearing red and white. Raffle's not going to enjoy watching that replay.
Teddy's not a fan. But it looked like
we have requests for more Teddy. Actually,
more Teddy talk.
Teddy boy. Yeah, he's not looking. He's. I think he's looking at my Witcher Funko Pops now.
Oh. Yeah, just
Here we go.
the victim of that hit. He just kind of looked like I think his name's Snake on The Simpsons when he got punched by a poo for trying to rob the quickie mart. Just that whole beautiful sideswiped. I like that, Jared.
I just the little guy's just going. Ah! I'm sorry. This is gonna sound great on the podcast for anybody listening.
That's all right. It kind of offsets because my cat is usually meowing in the background at some point.
Oh yes, this is the makeup day. Yeah, Jared, I absolutely love Sideswiped. I think I gotta sit and think on it because I was just sitting in the office today trying to rhyme words with Seider and side, and I just can't get one. But that Sideswiped, that feels right.
It's uncanny how much he sounds like my cat. Like it sounds like they're having a volley right now.
Here, buddy. Let me see if I can give him the old binky. Oh, Gavin's got a good one. Mowed over. I like that. Mowed over? What do you think, Mike?
It's good, but Sideswiped is really good.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Gavin.
Gavin, I do like mowed over. Yeah. It's better than what I came up with. Yeah.
Jared's got a trademark, so
I know the other positive you wanted to touch on too was just Zadina having a nice sizzle backhand there. Woo!
Yeah, I've been a little guilty of every preview I've done so far this season, or I shouldn't say everyone, but about halfway through now, all of my previews contain a conversation about Filip Zadina getting it going, and it just it was one of those things where one of my top priorities was scoring first because we do not do good when we're coming from behind. So that kind of seemed to be like the bugaboo. I mean, we got down 3-0, but I did ask for a Zadina goal. I wanted some special teams, and we got that with Larkin. And, I was getting the things I wanted. We even got good goaltending out of Ned. But, yeah, I think just lacking that first goal is what set us behind. But this was our first goal, was good old Zadina.
Here, they stay underneath the puck.
Let me mute that so we don't get kicked off YouTube. But, yeah, this is just... I think this is good for Zadina to get off his stick, right? Like this even looks like a goal scorer's goal. Or I'm sorry, it looks like a Luke Lenning goal / goal scorer's goal. Going in off the backhand. I think I saw on Twitter that this was just an homage to Glendening while he was on the ice with the boys. But yeah, like this is the kind of goal you needed Zadina to put in. Because if it was about like a tip-in goal or an empty net goal, of course I don't give two craps about that. No, I need a backhand goal that looks like, he's beating a guy with his speed. And look at that thing, whipping that thing with
you don't see a lot of power backhands. Yeah, there's not a lot of power backhands. That's why it looks so impressive. It wasn't a cheapie, like you said, it wasn't a deflection. Like most of Dallas's goals were. I mean, I wasn't really blown away by what they did. They got lucky. Nedeljkovic, I think he saw maybe one or two of those goals. He didn't really have a shot. But I mean, yeah, there's no obstruction, no, for view on that Zadina one. That was just skill. I mean, for the goalie.
Yeah. Sorry, he's filling his diaper right now, so I'm just having a good time listening to that. Really hope it gets picked up on.
I don't think you queued up the replay for this one, but the other goal that Larkin made. Oh my God, that was like the angriest wrist shot I think I've ever seen. Where there was so much mustard on it, just would have set back so many hot dog restaurants.
I want to pull it up in a second. But the only bad thing about that wrister is that made us have to listen to Bucha Gras in the period break have to say wicked wrista, and I was just like, all right, we get it. Like, you were cool 20 years ago. I don't need to hear that, Bucci. All right. Anyway, the only negative coming out of it. All right. So back to Philip Zadina. Mike, or I'm kind of giving it away here, but if you would have guessed that Philip Zadina and Moritz Seider are the only two players on the Red Wings team that are positive in goals for percentage, the scoring chances, Fenwick, Corsi, and expected goals, I mean, would that have been at the top of your mind before I brought up this table? It's I completely screwed up how I wanted to bring this up, but let's pretend. Let's just
cover up the
past
numbers. Yes,
Mike,
and the highlighted names of Mo Seider and Philip Zadina. Let me cover that up.
Who are the only two, Mike? Right, like Moritz Seider, obviously. This guy is passing the eyeball test, is passing the analytics test. But this is pretty much, Mike, what you want to bring up. I mean, like the general you, not you, but as podcasters, it's our responsibility to make sure anybody that hates Zadina too much knows that. I mean, really, when you're breaking this game down, brick by brick, and you're trying to figure out how this building was built, everything about it is an efficient hockey player. There, when he's on the ice, things are going Zadina's way from a 5-on-5 perspective. Now, of course, we'd like to see more power play goals from every angle on this team. Special teams needs to do better. And you just want to see that goal number increase for Zadina. But what you also have is one of the best performing forwards on the team from limiting goals. So right. It kind of goes, you got to remember it goes both ways. So Zadina getting that goal shouldn't necessarily mean that all of a sudden he's giving up goals. But you do want to see something happen where he still has that huge difference. Like if we look at the goals for per 60, and you know what? Everybody can see this. And you compare it with the expected goals for per 60. He still has room to double the goals for per 60. So basically what you're asking is that if there's a measurement out there to say, well, here's what he should have for goals based on his shots and based on the history of the league, these are the shots that go in the back of the net, right? So he's making the right choices. We don't even need him. We don't need him to go up. We don't need him to double the number he's done so far. But if it increases just a little bit, he could get up to, well, I guess he would have to double it actually to get to Lucas Raymond. But I mean, we could get it up to like 2.5 goals for per 60, and that'll be noticeable. That'll be a noticeable difference for your second line, and we'll feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel like the other thing you do with that information is so many times with like a young player, you just kind of you want to have more than a hope that they're going to be good. That a hope that they're going to have more pucks actually going in the net. Like this for you as a fan, you should look at this and feel really encouraged to be like, he is a very useful, productive NHL player. It's just, the pucks just haven't quite gone in the net like they could be. But at least we kind of have the groundwork here where we can see that he's making so many positive contributions. It's just eventually he's going to be all over that stat sheet. So it's encouraging stuff.
Yeah, and it is. I did bring up this earlier. I think it was in the YouTube comments from our last video, actually. If you guys ask questions throughout the week, I'm always there on YouTube to answer them, just so you guys know. So this goes for anybody that's watching later. But I said, if you're looking at Zadina, you either trust the skill and you think this is just a roll of the dice, right? Eventually it's going to catch up. You watch a movie like Moneyball, sports is treated like rolling dice. Eventually it goes your way. Eventually you're going to roll a 7, right? Mm-hmm. Or you look at it, and it's, even though darts is another sport, you look at it like darts, right? Like he's basically firing the puck at the net, and does he have the skill to hit it? Like, you're put in the right position. We're all put in position to do well in darts, and you either have the skill to be successful or you don't. So I think that's just, if you want to look at this sport in two different ways, and I think it's more or less just about, do you trust Zadina to eventually figure it out? if you do trust him, I think you're looking at it like dice. And if you don't trust him, you're looking at it like darts. You just think that he does not have the skill to put it in. And I think at this point, I don't know if that's fair. If you looked at the shot percentages, somebody could certainly make the argument. But I did just see it pop up in our comments here. So, oh gosh, I'm sorry. There's a mention of how many games Zadina has played so far, and here we go. Soap dish. He's barely over 100 games. Has never played an 82-game season. He's young and has always played with lesser players. It's a great point. Eventually, that's the other thing too, I guess, where I compare it maybe super incorrectly to darts, but I think everybody gets the idea. But if it's about your partner helping you out, I mean, that's a whole other bag of worms. Like if we're going to say, I think we all were excited about Zadina's shot when he first came into the league. But if we're making minor adjustments and saying this is going to be more about playmaking and a two-way forward, that playmaking only matters when the guys around him can actually finish. And despite Puce kind of turning it up a little bit and everybody being in love with Fabry, I think if you fast forward a couple years into the future, neither one of those guys are on a championship caliber team on the second line. Those guys, sorry to say, absolutely third line, or hate to say this, we're not on the team.
Don't do it. Oh, he did it.
Except for the Blues. I guess the Blues had Fabry, right? So it's
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I want to keep doing more analogies. I just, if you don't see it with Zadina, I think you should probably be, not watching hockey. You should be coloring, and you're probably eating your own boogers. So.
All right. Well, here's the requested Larkin goal. So this.
It was wicked, man. I said angry. All right, don't kill me for that. All right. Plays on the blue line.
I know. I got really quiet there because I thought you were going to carry that. But basically, what we also got here, Mike, we got 2 assists from our boys, Seider and Raymond. Sorry, he's sucking on my finger. It's really distracting.
Come on, Teddy.
I know.
Give it a minute. Give Matt a minute, will you? Go back to sleep.
I really want to take away from this is just I don't know how deep we want to get in this conversation because it's like an hour-long conversation, but maybe this is happening at the wrong time for Larkin, but he's absolutely playing like a 1C right now, right? I mean, we don't need to go too deep into it, but I don't see any other way to dissect this game so far. But to say that he's playing like a 1C.
Yeah, I think too often, it was, quote our friend McCarty, he was injured, now he's healthy. But yeah.
It's not that simple.
looking healthy, playing with people as talented as Lucas Raymond, playing with a healthy Bertuzzi. It really does look like worlds of difference.
You know what? Let's watch this replay again. Like, think about the idea of Bertuzzi, but in this play, Lucas Raymond and Seider being legitimate threats to put the puck in the back of the net. Well, watch Dallas. They are pressuring Raymond and Seider. That gives Larkin the space. So as much as McCarty wants to just lay on the same point and just say, it's just because he's healthy. He was a 200-point a season player every year. Like, yeah, we get it, McCarty.
I like your impression of McCarty because you sound like one of Marge Simpson's sisters.
Patty and Selma.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't know where I'm going with my point. But yeah, I mean, that's it right there, right? Like, you increase the talent level and the guys around you start to play better. And that goes back to what we're talking about with Zadina. So I mean, you put some better players around Zadina and things are going to start to work out. You don't have to give up on the guy because he can't carry a line like Lucas is special, right? We're seeing Lucas Raymond just blossom before our eyes, but that is super special. Not every league or team is going to have a Lucas Raymond, and you can't ask every player to be Lucas Raymond. Speaking of Lucas Raymond, Mike, just thought after that power play.
Oh, you got an update for us here?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I just blacked out everything that doesn't matter to the right and to the bottom there. Does this blow up? There we go. Yeah, we've got our boys here. Still first and second. Raymond now 7 goals, leading on assists as well. I was super disappointed last night. I had tweeted at Max Boltman. I said, how early are voters allowed to turn in their Calder vote? And he gave me a for real answer, and I was like, oh, I was just kidding. The joke was,
I meant because we won.
Yeah, I meant because Lucas is doing so good.
Yeah.
People just turn in their vote now, but whatever. Sometimes,
He gave you a little unbuttered toast there, man.
I'm always adding cinnamon and sugar to my plate, and he gave me unbuttered
He
toast.
He made sure to dab off all the butter. All right.
Yeah. No, it's a perfect analogy. If I'm throwing cinnamon and sugar on my toast and he forgets to butter it, the cinnamon and sugar falls right off.
Yep. Doesn't get retweeted. Yep. Just falls into the Twitter abyss.
Basically what happened was Max read my tweet last night and went, "See, this is why I'm never doing this podcast again." And then he gave me a for real answer, and then he blocked us.
Oh, jeez. Gosh, this is cool. But yeah, we got a lot of season left. What was your prediction at the start of the season? Were we just trying to see if Lucas gets above 40 points or just 40?
Oh, so is this he was on the team at that point, we're saying? Yeah, I think that would have been reasonable. Like, I probably would have put him in the 40-point range. There's no way I was going to say a point per game. No. Wait.
We got Vegas coming up, and what's the next game after that?
Then the Yotes, Coyotes. So we've got.
Is that so Thursday and Saturday?
That sounds about right.
Okay.
One of them's happening this weekend. One of those days this weekend. It's either Saturday or Sunday. Has your pick, has it changed? I think you said, did you say 4-0 again? Or did you say 2-0 in the first two games and then I said 2-0 in the next two?
I think I picked 2-0 and I was wrong on both accounts wildly. Detroit versus Vegas with no Larkin. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
do not feel confident about that. Give me Vegas all day.
Yeah, unfortunately. But still, the Coyotes has to be a win, right? Even without Larkin, I think.
Well, we've decided the Red Wings, they're not, we can't use the P word. They failed that test. But can they be a 500 team? And I think they're going to need that win to stay at 500 or get back to it.
Yeah, that's the goal. We're just going to keep crossing off goals before the season. All right, playoffs. God. All right, but 500, still within reach.
All right, 30% of our games. All right, give me...
I think this is bothering me. I saw Brad said, I don't think I ever finished my point. I think you were going to say that better players on the line with Larkin help draw attention away from Larks, giving him better opportunities to score. Yeah, if I'd never finished that thought, I do apologize. That is exactly where I was going with that. With Seider and Raymond being on the power play, they pull the attention away from the Dallas penalty kill. Yeah, performance art thinks I'm going through withdrawals with my bouncing here. Either that or I really got to pee. It was just bad timing starting the episode. Tristan, Mike, thrown out there 65 points this year.
Woo-wee!
Doesn't that suck that feels like we're lowballing? Like, I mean, it's great, but it's also super realistic, and Tristan's probably nailing it. But that means there's going to be a major chunk there in the middle where Lucas is doing nothing, which is normal. Rookies in the NHL hit that burnout point, and they just can't keep up.
Is his second half just going to be awful?
I mean,
isn't this more hockey than he will have played like in a year?
The only that's true with the injury last year. The only evidence we have is other rookie performances. We don't know what Lucas Raymond will do, so I don't know if it's fair to say yes, absolutely he will. But there's enough evidence out there for every rookie that's played in the NHL to say that Lucas is going to fall back a little bit. That's why these early starts in the points race, if one of our main concerns this year is going to be 500 hockey, we're also going to have an eye on the Calder Trophy. So if we're also going to play that game all year, then let's do it. Huge start for Raymond is going to help out once that lull comes. And
so just to kind of give you like an idea, Yzerman's rookie year,
75 points, by the way.
Yzerman's rookie year, he had 87 points. Crosby had a monster with 102. Ovechkin had a 106 bomb. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Robitaille had an 84. I'm trying to see if Matt, the closest contemporary, right, where we actually started using real leg pads on goalies instead of just strapping on soccer shin pads, was Austin Matthews. Matt, go ahead and guess what his first year point total was.
50. I don't know. He had 4 goals in the first game. Trying to
69.
extrapolate that.
69.
Oh, okay. Nice.
What about like Patrick Laine? He had 64. So, I mean, do you think that Lucas Raymond is better than Patrick Laine?
Yeah.
There you go. So 65, maybe that's not so nuts.
I'm all about it. I think that's the other thing too, is I still we still have a good sample size for Lucas, but we don't have the second sample size yet, right? So what if we go another 20 games, still at a point per game pace? Do we look at that at that point? Are we saying, all right, we're halfway through the season, here comes the lull? Or do you say, there's nothing here that says Lucas is slowing down, so full steam ahead. So I get it. Like when we get too excited, then the Red Wings super let us down against the Columbus Blue Jackets. But I just like that. That was like a failing to remember how difficult it is to win in this league and how far away we are from being a playoff contender still. But with Lucas, it's still unknown, I feel like. And again, it is fair to look at other rookie performances, but I'm still pretty high on Lucas. I mean, he's even like dinking and dunking on like those assists that you'll forget, like that power play assist was all about Dylan Larkin scoring that goal. Like that was a beautiful goal to watch. It was a beautiful goal to hear. But you're not going to be thinking about that assist at the end of the season. Even though we pointed out that Lucas being a part of the bang bang from Seider and Lucas, like that certainly helped Larkin get space and score. But still, we're not going to be thinking about that. So when those assists are coming in, they're rolling in just because he's getting the ice time on the first line and on the power play. I don't know. I think
well, you know what? I think on his side too, like to kind of pivot what your point is. It's not necessarily that Lucas is out there getting these like burst plays like against necessarily just an inferior line that he's going up against. It really does just feel like consistency, and he just keeps putting himself in great spots, right? So the points just kind of seem like an equation that he's just in a good spot most of the time when he's out there. He's on the first line, deservedly so. He's getting power play time like he deserved, and it just feels like this is, the fruits of the labor. So it doesn't feel, again, it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like this is something that, isn't sustainable. This definitely feels like a sustainable pace for Lucas because he's not going bananas. He's just very consistently good.
Now, there is a conversation about Verona coming back and that helping Raymond's totals. Schlarchi throwing that out there. Tristan saying he doesn't think they'll play together. I'll say this. Verona comes back and gets put on the second line, and that line becomes, it's Verona. Verona's, 80% of what his production was at the end of last season. That's formidable right there. And now you've got to make some tough choices throughout the game of who's going to be covering that first line and who's covering the second line. So even if they're not playing together, I think that still figures into to helping out Lucas's numbers at the end of the day. I will say, Mike, if you guys are looking for a Red Wings game to go to, the March 1st game could be Verona's first game back.
Woo!
Tickets are on sale. SeatGeek and StubHub below $10.
Man.
Except
I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I don't know if the Red Wings are going to rush him back for a year where if we're like, 5 games under 500 or something like that. I don't even know if he's going to play that much. Is he?
I think there's cause to make sure that a guy at Verona's age still gets some playing time this year. No,
I mean, if they're like a fringe playoff team and they're still kind of flirting around with, being at like an 8 seed, he might feel, Coach, I'm feeling a lot better. Put me in February. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know. That's just something that seems to happen when there's playoffs around and meaningful hockey around. Suddenly you start feeling a lot healthier.
No, You said it. You're not allowed to say it's the P
We
word.
can't say the P word.
That's right.
All right.
All right. So we did it, Mike. We got past a half hour, and he never got cranky. But I don't want to test this anymore, so I do apologize, everybody. We're not going to do a 90-minute show today. We're gonna wrap up right now. I got to thank you guys for all tuning in. Sorry if I missed anybody's awesome comment. They'll watch them later, and as always, comment away, and I'll keep responding throughout the week. Mike, we have in the can now. We've got prospect update. We've got Mitchell Stevens background. You and I need to record. I have the list of all of our free agent targets for 2022 and 2023, both unrestricted and restricted. So those will be coming out in a couple of weeks while we take a break. If anybody has any requests, always throw them in the chat, and we can definitely make an episode.
Yeah, give me those restricted free agents you want to pine over, Pedersen style, like we do.
There aren't as many as I think you're hoping, but we'll have some fun.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah, it's not Pedersen level, but it'll be fun. Heck, I mean, look at Pedersen now. Is it just because he's on Vancouver?
Because on Vancouver, he's not wearing that winged wheel.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, before we sign off, make sure you pivot so we can see cute little Teddy's face.
How do I wait this way? Right?
Yeah, there he is. Ah, Teddy! Oh, he's such a cute little peanut. Hey, Teddy boy. Thanks, man.
Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you guys.